we're back from the dead.
What's going on, YouTube? This told you to get to a short little video on these Dayton Audio. What's the model? You can see the model right there. The PCX12-8s, they're 8 ohms. And then I do have the, let's see if I can get this thing out and make sure I got it better. Temporarily installed. The magnets would let release from the top of the toolbox. So the LaVoce DF10-101LS. This is also an 8 ohm compression driver. This is pretty much LaVoce's entry level. So, turn the camera back around. Just got the cutters there so it stopped rolling. And then I have this one hooked up with no compression driver in the back. Full range off the other channel. No crossovers or nothing. So it's not going to be a fair test because I've only ordered one of these to see how I like it. It's definitely not a silk dome tweeter. They get loud. It kind of reminds me of like a bullet tweeter, super tweeter for like car audio. They're always loud. They're not going to, do well for like home theater necessarily. So if I were to run this driver with home theater, which I have all intentions that I would, I feel like these would do good for home theater. Probably upgrade to a different model, maybe something that would match better with the frequency response of this 12-inch driver. As of right now, I have a 2000 hertz two-way crossover. It's a little low for those tweeters. What's recommended is a 2500, but I'm not pushing much power to it. When I do go to build the boombox for these speakers, the plan is to do a 3000 hertz single high-pass crossover for each of the compression drivers, because I do want to buy 3 more of these, the LaVoce compression drivers, and then do a 2000 low pass for this, just because this starts to really peak after 2K. I really want to dial it down for the distortion, and that should really help easier on the ears when we're jamming out to music. Either way, I'll get to the video. These are pretty loud for what they are. There's no external amplifiers, just some raw wire back there. Give you a little bit of what's going on. Looks like that one fell over. It was bumping too hard. But that's all right. You get an idea. They bump pretty good. In person, I can definitely tell that this... Put this back up there. So I had them bumping too loud. Too hard. Fell over a little bit. But that's just each of these speakers wired at 8 ohms. When I wire them to each side off of, I plan on getting another 590 for myself. I just seem to kind of like these. I know it sounds like a waste, but it just makes more power. Keep getting what's reliable so far. And if I wired each side down to 4 ohms, it should scream pretty good. And he's had a decent amount of travel. It almost has like 4 millimeters of X-Max. Well, it's moving a lot more than 4 millimeters. Not the mechanical limits are only at 4 millimeters. This is what the voice coil gap is, I guess. But I like them. I'm hoping that these do pretty good in for bass response, so I don't have to add a subwoofer to this, especially when I'm 4 of these in like a 5-foot wide boombox. And I did put one of these 12s in an old box that I had laying around. Actually, the bass response was pretty decent, just playing bass frequencies from the receiver. In like a 35 hertz tuned 2.25 cubic foot box, which I think these only need like 2 cubes anyways, according to the recommendations for Parts Express. But I can't argue. I bought 4 of these on sale for $49 a piece, and they're back up to like 79, 80 bucks or whatever. To step into a pro audio speaker of this, size and efficiency, you don't need much power to run these. Some of those Eminence drivers are like 300 watts RMS or more. You got some of the Celestial brand, I think it is. And those can be up like 1,000 watts RMS for a 12. And like, that's great. I don't have I'm not Excision trying to run a concert, so. But in a nutshell, and then they got threads in the back. Was it 138 TP threads per inch or something? 38? I don't know. I forgot what it is, the spec on it. But I got another song coming on. Let me turn it up a little bit. Now, that was at volume 70. The bass is at 0. Everything's, at 0. I haven't... obviously, when I get in a box, I might be able to add bass. I might just take it away. I'm not sure. It sounds really clear, and that tweeter screams pretty good, too. But the funny part is, even without a compression driver, the speaker all by itself, if you test it without the other side, this thing really dips up, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 hertz. And sounds pretty decent doing it. This one's cut off at 2,000. So, at 2,000 it starts sloping down, and the compression driver starts kicking in and taking over from there, which sounds amazing by itself. I was playing this one this past weekend just by itself and doing yard work and stuff. Jamming out here. I'm like, man, I can't wait to get all 4 of these in a box. So if you're wanting to step up to pro audio stuff, I would suggest at least get one of these guys for the price. I know the Eminence stuff is made in USA. Of course, it's going to be better quality. these guys got a 5-year warranty. I had one of these ship in a box, and the voice coil was like locked sideways on it. Called them up. Guess what they did? Sent me a free one, no charge. I'm like, do you want the old one back to be looked at? They said no. Throw it away. Oh, okay. So that's why I keep dealing with Parts Express. Yes, they're not as nice as some other companies, but I've had really good luck with them for the warranty stuff. Plus, it's 5 years, so hopefully soon I'll get started on building this box before summer really gets here. And until then, let's get this out from here, up on display. I have a lot of hand sanding to do, but walnut for 2 5-inch designer series with 1 1/8 tweeter, Silk Dome Classic, and then we're doing a plexiglass window. Like I said, the router my bit messed up, so it was my fault. But do lots of hand sanding, and then it's going to be a 65-inch wide soundbar. Plexiglass with a multicolor LEDs on the inside, so my current client can match his LEDs he has mounted behind his TV. So 1.25 black walnut. So I got lots of work to do to that, and then we're going to have MDF for all the outsides because we're going to bedliner everything black. And then I'm going to do an MDF subwoofer box for this 10-inch subwoofer. Just getting a little dust on it and stuff. It's one of the ones I built a while ago. One of the first DC Audio Level 110s I rebuilt. It's got a single 4-ohm copper coil in it. And we're going to build an MDF box for that as well and bedliner it. So hopefully it'll just kind of disappear in the corner of his house. He doesn't want it to be really seen. He wants this to be the main display thing. So there'll be hopefully another video about this. I'll start making part series on the 2-channel 2.1. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Probably 2.1 home theater setup. So this will be one of the first big boy ones I've built in a long time. I'm excited. It's going to be really beautiful. Oh yeah, also I was going to talk about this too. I'm trying to design the front panel to be the only panel that's removable. So the plan is to have this whole panel sit recessed in the box, kind of like how you have a lip here. So the MDF box will be, outside. And then the panel itself, like my lid here, will sit down inside. And then I want to go from the sides and put screws and screw in the panel. And then obviously a foam seal behind here so everything's airtight. But I'm trying to just make it different than having the rear panels. That way if anything happens to this, let's say, because MDF is probably never going to split or move, 2 years from now this thing takes a big old split in it, I can take this out, remove it, fix just this. And it's going to have a little bit of a child safety guard too, with this being recessed and the speakers mounted to the back. So either way, I'm just rambling on here. I'll be making a part series about this. And then hopefully after that, I got some shelves to build out of walnut, and then we'll get started on this guy. Probably gonna mount it up here. The plans are 3 foot by 30 inches tall and a foot thick. Mounted on the ceiling up, or mounted on the wall up here. So later, guys.